Hello there and welcome back to Tiny Zoo. Hope you're well. Thank you very much for watching the video today. Appreciate your company. So in the last episode we were over here putting in our Chinese pangolin and they're getting on just fine over there. So I decided to come over this side of the zoo, and as you can see I've got started on our next project, which are these adorable little things, Dwarf Caiman, the mini crocodiles. And they're awesome. I absolutely love them. Very similar to the saltwater crocodiles, they do spend much of their time doing this. See, they blink and their tails wiggle, but that's about it. They really don't do too much. But I had a bit of an idea of what I wanted to do for their habitat. So as you can see, this is what I've come up with. So I wanted this again to be raised water, like the crocodiles over there, where you could look in. However, I've decided to change the plan a little bit already, and instead of just having a pathway around the outside, I actually want this to be a raised viewing platform around these three sides here, with steps coming up around them. So you can see how I've had to do this, obviously raising the land here, getting the water in here, and then there's the solid brick bit at the back. So you can see the staff members can walk in here and get to what they need to, and the caiman themselves can come up on the land and they can come right down into this bit as well. So it's worked out quite nicely. So it can be quite tricky sometimes when you do this sort of enclosure where you have the land here. If you steady the land out, sort of level it out backwards, you end up with the door not fitting in there. It's very hard to build a door higher up, I found. I wish there was a way of doing it. So if this was flat land going all the way along here, I wish you could make it so the barrier, which would be much higher, and you could raise the door up so the door was up here and then build steps down from it. But you don't seem to be able to do that unless I'm getting something wrong. I might be missing something, I don't know. I also wish you could sort this weird issue out on the corner here, where you've got this corner which is nice and square, and this one where it's angled, this column, and I'm not too sure how you change that, because I've tried moving it, I've tried rebuilding these sections of walls, and for some reason this one is always at an angle and this one is always square, and that just, it looks stupid, quite frankly. It should be a square like that. That angle just doesn't look right at all. But I don't know why that happens. If you can explain that to me, that would be fantastic. So yeah, so this is the plan. So I'm going to do some custom platforms basically. So they're not going to be again accessible by people because we're not letting people into the zoo. So I'm going to do some custom steps up on all three sides, and then a viewing platform around the top. So that is my plan, and we shall see how it goes. So I'm going to go away now and do some more work, and I will be right back. And back we are with our Dwarf Caiman. As you can see, I have made some good progress. So I decided, because this was going to be raised around the outside, I wanted to cover up the glass. And so I've gone with these murals that you usually attach to a wall, but actually this green one sort of suits this environment quite well. It's got the green and it's also got some blue in there, so it looks a little bit watery. So I've put them around the glass sides, and then as you can see I've decorated the middle here with all my usual suspects. So you've got the eel grass, you've got the underwater moss, you've got some stones, two different types of reed. Put some of these lilies in actually as well. I thought they looked quite good in this enclosure. I think the height of the water works nicely. It actually looks like they are growing up from the bottom, which is nice. So you've got some pink ones there, and you've got some blue ones here and over here. A couple of fallen logs just because I think they look cool, especially in water. Yeah, there we go. That's it. I mean, it's really simple, but the combination. Oh, I also put the these squares down. The the big flat tiles of greenery. I lined the floor with those first, actually, before I added all the detail. But I think that looks really nice. It's amazing. It's quite easy to get a good looking water floor with all these different items, especially with these panels, because you can get like the little ferns here coming through, and then everything else you just keep layering it up until it looks full but not crowded. Even, you know, things like this, these little things here where you just duplicate them, and there we go. You see they're just one on top of another, and it just makes it look like a big plant. It's really simple little techniques like that. They work really nicely, and it's very effective. As you can see, our Caiman are happy in their navigable, traversable area. I was trying to say navigable, but I'm not even sure if that's a word, to be honest. The traversable area, as you can see, is pretty much the whole thing, just a little bit here with the end of the log and these reeds. For some reason these reeds block, whereas these ones don't, so it's kind of annoying, but not so bad, because I actually prefer these ones, these sort of bulrush type. I think they look nicer than these ones, so I don't have too much of a problem with that. Oh, look at that, it's feeding time. Nice little bit of fish. Yummy, yummy. Oh, and they sit on the water. Actually, they're sitting on the lily pads, aren't they? Yeah, that is a weird thing. They can sit on top of these lily pads. I guess in real life, if the lily pads were thick enough and dense enough, maybe they could sort of sit in the middle of them, but certainly not when they look like that. But never mind, that's life, isn't it? As long as our little crocs are happy, or little caiman are happy. I'm not even... I don't know what they're related to. I should know more, really, shouldn't I? Whether they're related to crocodiles or alligators. I don't know. Oh, a small species of the crocodilian. Okay, so they're related to crocodiles, yeah. There we go. You learn something new every day from this game, don't you? Brilliant. Okay, so that's where we're up to now. So I've still got foliage to do back here. And I also need to start work on my custom steps and viewing platforms. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to go away once more, and I will be back in a minute. Okay, I've got to work, and as you can see, our custom viewing platform is coming along nicely, and the foliage back here, as you can see, I've put in the my usual umbrella tree, just a few little shrubs here and there, a couple of rocks just in this corner, a little bit of enrichment as well. So this, what is this one over here? Oh yeah, one of the pumpkins, and they got a scent thing. What's that called? A scent marker, blood scent, and a scratch. No, that's not a scratching post. That's a feeding post over there as well. Oh yes, and a rubber duck, of course, because who doesn't like a rubber duck, eh? Yeah. Actually, I didn't give our big crocodiles a rubber duck. Maybe I should have done. Might have made them a bit more active. Anyway, so the custom steps. I was really pleased with this. I think it looks really nice. So this is just an Arctic beam, a curved Arctic beam, and I've just turned them into steps. I think they look really cool. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say than that, really. I was just browsing through the pieces, trying to find something a bit interesting, a slightly different shape or something, and that's what I came across, and it works fantastically as steps. I didn't want them to just be, you know, straight beams of wood or planks of wood, because I've done that before. I wanted something a bit different, so there we go. That is what I came up with, and I really like it. And then around the top, I've just gone with some stone, because the top would need to be nice and solid. Especially, I've kind of made it so it looks like it's all one structure with the glass edges, and obviously you can't see the glass anymore. So it would be quite a nice solid structure, even though it is technically at the moment hovering in mid-air. But obviously all these gaps will get filled in at some point. So yeah, that's coming along really, really nice actually. So I think I'm going to do some facilities. So there's probably going to be a keeper hut in this area here, I think. I still need to think what I'm going to do in the corners. They're probably going to be little gardens, you know, shrubs, trees in each of these three corners, I think. And obviously I need to do some railings around the top here as well, and work out exactly how I'm blocking in these edges. So yeah, plenty to do. I will probably sort of combine it with this area here and maybe link all of this, and maybe even link to this path over here and actually continue some sort of I don't know, some sort of edging and pathway around here as well. I may do it all in one go while I'm doing this habitat, but for now let me go away again and come back once I've done a bit more. Oh, just a quick update here, and as you can see I have put a staff building in here, and this will be nicely decorated. I want to do something custom on this rather than just to make it it probably will be a square box, but I want it to be a custom square box rather than using in-game walls. I don't know why, just fancy doing something a bit different with that. And this is what I've come up with for the for these corners with I decided to go with more of the stone theme to continue the stone from the actual pathway at the top. I think that looks cool, and it makes a nice edge to a small potential garden here. And then up the top, just what's this, wooded beams here, and then these are the round beams, again painted. So I've just made them red because red is a good guardrail colour because it stands out, and it's, you know, it's a sign of danger, isn't it? Red, that's what we associate it with. So yeah, around the edge. The only problem I did have is that there is not a huge gap for people to walk through here, but I'm okay with that. I think it's fine. I could try and sort of move everything back, but it gets tricky, and I like how it looks at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it. I think it's fine. But I really like how this is coming together now. I think if you were standing up here, I think you'd have a nice time just looking down and seeing the caiman swimming around down there. I've got one hiding in the bulrushes in here. So yeah, this is coming together really nicely. So yeah, I'm going to start working on these corners and this custom staff room, I think, now, or keeper hut rather. So yeah, just a very quick update there. So let me go away once more and do some more. Right, I've done much more in this update. As you can see, I've been working on our little garden corners, and they've come up really nicely actually. I decided to go with some of these sort of sandy coloured stones for the edges. I wanted a tree in each one, so I've picked different types of tree, and you know, tried a couple that I hadn't done before, so that's cool. I liked to use a bit of variety there. Just a few shrubs, some stones, and I've done a backdrop with the ivy on the wall as well. So I've basically done the same theme in each one. Some of them have got slightly more shrubs than others, but you know, I like that. I like a bit of variety. And then this one over here looks like that. So they're really simple, really simple, but it's you know, it fills in the gaps nicely, and it is exactly what you would see in a gap like that in a zoo. It would be something that's low maintenance and that just looks nice. And then over here I have done what I said, and I have made a custom shell for this little keeper hut, and it's done it really nice actually. So what I did, this is planks, just tilted sideways and then raised up and down, and that's what I've done on all of the walls, and then beams on the corners, and I can't remember what I did. I think I used an in-game roof because I knew I was going to cover it up with this this natural roof, and then just some ivy around the edges as well. Got a light and a switch, and I made a little frame for the door there as well, and then some bamboo behind it here because there was a bit of a gap here and it looked a bit odd just leaving it as a gap, so I wanted something tall in there, just to block it off from here so it doesn't look particularly nice from this sort of angle. So you got some bamboo in there, and then just little gaps along the side here, and this little gap here between the paths. Just fill it in with the rocks and some shrubs. Really simple. Just continuing the same sort of theme that I've done everywhere else in the zoo, really. And it's worked really nicely. I'm very happy with how that's come together. I quite like doing little custom things like that. It would have been nice to maybe do something a bit fancier, make it a different shape or something, but At the end of the day, it's a very basic hut, and it really probably would stay fairly basic. It really is just a little place to make food. So no, I don't mind keeping it fairly plain and square. So that is actually the habitat basically done now. The animals are in and happy. I put one more bit of the enrichment back on these rocks here. One of these melting ice blocks, which they can reach. I can't even see them. Where are they? Oh, there's one in the one sitting down in the bulrushes there, and the other one's over there. They can't go far. I mean, it's not like it's a huge enclosure, is it? And they're certainly not going to climb out and run away. So there we go, that is our enclosure. Now I am going to do one more update in this video, which is what I said earlier. I am going to fill this area in here and link it along here, so I will show you that in a minute. But for now, I really just want to show off the enclosure. It's turned out really nicely. I think these steps are really nice. Again, obviously just not in-game items that will actually be used, but I think in real life, I think that is exactly the sort of thing that you see, and I think the steps are the right size and angles and everything. So yeah, you really would just leap up them and come up here and have a look at the animals. So I'm very pleased with how it's turned out. It's a little bit fancier than my other enclosures, and obviously the whole thing could have been done sunk into the ground instead of raised up, but I wanted to play around with height. I wanted to get these staircases in, so I'm more than happy with how that's turned out. Let me know what you think. Do you think I did the right thing by raising it up rather than sinking it down? And do you like what I've done with these corners? And my custom keeper hut, which, yeah, it's nice. It's not spectacular, but it's a bit different. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with it. So like I said, I'm just going to do one more update where I fill in these gaps over here, and that will be it. So let me just go away and get that done, and I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, as promised, I have filled in all the gaps. Now, the first thing I did here actually was extend this flower bed to fill in the gap up to this little pathway bit here. So, you know, just continued the theme basically, and I just thought it'd be nice to put a couple of these statues in here on a rock, because obviously these are the relevant animals to what's inside there. And then actually I can't remember if I added this in the last one or not, but I have put a couple of media boards up on the top here, which makes sense because that's where you're standing to view the animals, so I wanted those in there. And then I have put in a flower bed over here with the curb as well. I wanted this curb to continue around here, so you've got the pathway, the same texture pathway continuing along here. I've left the gravel here and here where it leads into staff only areas. That's kind of my theme with the gravel. Gravel is for staff only essentially. I do that in quite a few of my zoos. I use these gravel paths as staff only representation, at least, because obviously people can walk on them if they want, but that's kind of the look that I go for. So this flower border along here, again, it's just got some basic shrubs, a few rocks, a couple of larger things, got a tree on the corner here as well. Continued the path around the back. Could probably do with a few more actually, just to plug these gaps. The soil, where the soil links together, it makes these lines, and that doesn't actually look very nice, so I may just add a couple more bits and pieces in here. Oh, look at that, our jaguar is having a little wander under there. Oh, such a lovely little creature. Right, and then so that continues all the way around to this border here, where I continued this curb all the way down under the hedge here, which I hadn't done before. So that comes all the way down to the end here, and then comes in and just finishes this off, because this was looking a bit unfinished at this end here with the soil as well. So that works very nicely there. And then I just had a bit of a space here, and so this is what I decided, just a small picnic area basically. Again, this is something you see in a lot of zoos in England here. Wherever there's a gap like this, they just bung some benches down or some tables, because people always have picnics with them, or, you know, buy their lunch in the cafes and they just need somewhere to sit down. So you'll often see this sort of thing wherever there's any spare space and I've used these nice covers. I love these. I think they look absolutely brilliant. Very modern and practical. So yeah, that was that. Very simple, very effective, but I'm really happy with that. Especially these corner borders. Actually, I think they came out very nicely indeed. I like this one with the little statues. That's probably my favourite bit. So there we go. That's nice, because that's filled all of this area in now, and I feel like I've sort of linked it all up and made a nice edge there. So now I can start elsewhere. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think. Do you like my Caiman enclosure, or do you not? I don't know. Let me know. In the next episode, bit of a spoiler, it's going to be here, and it's going to be quite grand. Maybe my idea is a bit too grand for this zoo, because obviously I am trying to keep this zoo small and compact. But I've got an idea, and once I've got an idea in my head, I struggle to let go of it. So it's going to be in here, and I'm going to tell you it's going to be some kind of bear, but I'm not going to tell you which one. You'll have to wait and see. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've had fun. I hope you're keeping well, and I will see you, hopefully, in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.